Take roll.
Flamini,
Yep.
Funderburg. Here. Johnson.
Here.
Lopez.
Here.
McFarland. Here. Moore. Here. Zimmers.
Here.
That is 7 in attendance.
Okay, President's comments. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome all the students and the teachers back. I hope you had a restful break and get yourself rejuvenated, able to connect with family and friends. I know this was a happy day for most guardians and parents. You know, they're probably ready for children to get back to school. And here's just hoping and wishing that we have as great a second semester as we had first semester. There were a lot of good things going on in this district this first semester, and I'm sure we will continue to do the good things that we've been doing thus far. So everybody, welcome back. At this time, we'll do board salutes. Does any board members have any board salutes?
I have a salute. I wanted to salute Kathy Lamsargis. She did a great service to a lot of children in the district. She collected up toys and, just different, toys and objects for the children to choose from that they could have wrapped and give to their loved ones for Christmas. And I think it's a labor of love on Kathy's part that she collects these items all year long, and then she gets wrapping paper and bows, and she has people who donate it to her, and she just collects it all up and gives it to the children to give away for gifts, and I think that's wonderful.
Anyone else?
And then I went to Du Bois
It's like
day
the
I
Thursday
left or
before
something
the
like that.
19th or 20th.
Yeah, 18th or 19th of December, and they allow the children to come and select little gifts for family members and siblings, and we wrapped gifts, so we had a lot of fun doing that. So now I can put that on my calendar for every year.
I
And
was
they tell you
able-
how to wrap them too.
Oh, they do.
Yes, they do.
That's the reason I didn't go, because my family makes fun of me the way I rap, so I just chose not to do that one. I was able to go to Ridgely before break, and I wanted to commend them. This is the 10th anniversary of their building being redone, and if you haven't been there lately, if you walk in there, it's like a brand new building. I got to give Ridgely kudos, the principal and the staff there, and particularly the custodial staff, because it still looks like a brand new building. It is a beautiful building that's really been maintained, so congratulations to Ridgely. Do you have anything? Okay. All right, at this time, we will go to,
Student board members, is it?
I asked
You
what
did,
she said.
okay.
At this time, we'll go to discussion items, 4.1, old business. Do any board members have any old business?
Just one thing. Somebody gave me this I Love 186 button. A friend of mine did a long time ago. It was in my car, and on the way over here, I thought this is a perfect day to wear I
That's right.
Love 186. The weather is just delightful.
Do we still have those buttons around?
We are just re-upping it. Peggy Cormany is, and the parent group are submitting an order for them,
Okay.
and they'll be passing them out.
Because I'm the same way. I have one somewhere. It's probably in my
Yeah.
car or somewhere at the house.
We'll
I
get
just
some more
don't see where it is.
Are they going to Ink 186?
Yes, they're going to Equal 86 for the buttons, yes.
Okay, anybody else have any old business? We'll move on to 4.2, new business. Does anyone have any new business? Hearing none, we'll go to 4.3, student business.
Well, this year, for the student roundtable, I decided that we should start focusing on taking our goals from last year and figuring out what we can get accomplished this semester and putting some of the things aside to prepare for the future. So next year's student roundtable could possibly work on those, so we always have a very involved process of us, hopefully, if some of the same students who are underclassmen are on it next year, they can teach the newer kids. So we have like a process where the newer roundtable always learns from what the old roundtable done, so it's like a continual process. And I think our meeting is either this week or next week, but we'll talk about which of the goals that we want to set aside and which are the ones that we want to start working on.
How
Did
do
you
you
come
feel?
back next year when you go to college? You're wonderful.
Yeah,
Back
you-
twice a month.
Gonna make you class president. Seriously. How do you feel about what you've done so far?
I think we have a very great group of students who are very involved and very interested in seeing a change in our school. And that makes me really happy to have people who are just as involved as I am, really want to see things get done. So I think we'll be able to get a lot of the things that we wanted to get done.
All right.
Any other board members have any questions? Okay, hearing none, we don't have any presentations to the board. At this time, we will a little later, we're gonna have a presentation. So we'll move on to business report, 6.1, financial report.
President Zimmers, members of the board, attached is a summary of revenue and expenditures for the month of December 2014 for the Ed Fund and the Operations and Maintenance Funds. Also attached is an accounts receivable outstanding report. The report lists $6.7 million in state payments that were behind, but we did receive $3 million after this report was printed, so right now we're at about $4.7 million. The Ed Fund revenues for the month of December were $3.67 million and expenditures were $8.48 million. So expenditures exceeded revenues by $4.81 million. In the O&M fund, we have revenues of $86,700 and expenditures of $878,100, with expenditures exceeding revenues by $791,000.
Anyone have any questions, Mr. Masco?
Have we gotten any state payments?
Pardon?
Have we gotten any state
Yeah, we
payments?
did. That was a $3 million. We did get that.
Just want to make sure we called that out specifically. Was it the same date as last year? It was December 20th last year,
It was
so.
the 20, they dispersed it on the 29th, which is a few days later than last year, but not.
Okay, okay. One in. One in.
One. Hopefully 3 more to go.
Okay, 6.2, I'll turn over to Superintendent Gill.
Okay, we are, do you want to introduce?
Okay.
But we're going to have the presentation of our fiscal 2013 comprehensive annual financial report.
Yeah, and at this
Thank
time,
you.
I'd like to introduce Chad Lucas from Sikich. He's the partner on our audit, and he's just going to talk about it a little bit and answer any questions.
Come on up.
And I would like to say at this time, our projector is out tonight. You know, we do have information that people have, where you can get on your computer and follow along, but we're having problems with projectors, so just wanted to point that, that's the reason we're not putting it on the screen. So, welcome, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. We appreciate the opportunity to work with you again this year. I'd like to thank Joe and his staff for all the help they provide during the audit process. We ask a lot of questions during the audit process, and we can kind of be a little bit of a pain. They're trying to do their daily work, and we're asking a lot of questions, so we appreciate all the help that they provided. Very responsive, and we appreciate that. I'll just kind of quickly go through a few of the reports. There were 6 reports that we issued this year, and I'll kind of concentrate on 3 of them. Just do a high-level review, just point out a couple of highlights, and be happy to answer any questions that you may have. The first item is the comprehensive annual financial report. This is your audit report, your main audit report. The comprehensive annual financial report is you participate in the ASBO, the Association of School Business Officials Certificate of Achievement and Financial Reporting Program. And so your CAFR, your Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, goes above and beyond the basic reporting requirements. You include both an introductory and a statistical section in your CAFR that goes above and beyond the basic financial statements. The introductory section includes some information about the information or the projects going on within the district, things like that. And the statistical section includes trend information, 10-year trend information for various things, including revenue, debt, economic statistics, demographics, things of that nature. So you can kind of see a 10-year trend information for those types of those areas. Just a couple of things to point out in the comprehensive annual financial report. The opinion is an unmodified opinion. That's the only thing in this report that is we consider to be ours. The rest of it is yours. We assist in the preparation process, but it's an unmodified opinion. And a couple of things that I wanted to point out, a couple of highlights. Your statement of activities, the question of whether or not you're improved or deteriorated from the prior year. Your statement of activities, there was a positive increase of approximately $550,000. So the net position did improve approximately $550,000 over the prior year. The statement of net assets includes approximately $69.9 million of net assets. Most of that is made up of capital assets, infrastructure, net of any related debt that you have. That totals approximately $48 million. Approximately $6.2 million is restricted for debt service and for transportation. They're restricted funds. And then another $15.6 million that's considered unrestricted. In the fund financial statements, your fund balance over all funds decreased approximately $10.6 million this year. That was primarily due to the expenditure of bond proceeds, remaining bond proceeds for the new schools and for your HVAC projects. So it was just essentially spending down prior year unspent bond proceeds. That kind of covers the basic financial statements. Also included in the CAFR is the notes to the financial statements, which have significant accounting policies, and it also includes combining information for each of the individual funds. You'll show that, and it shows all the combining and how it's combined into the statement of activities and the statement of net position. So that's kind of a quick overview of just some highlights. I'd be happy to answer any questions related to the CAFR.
Does anyone have questions, Mr. Lucas?
A couple of the other reports that I wanted to kind of mention was the single audit report. You received federal funds to the tune of approximately $23,900,000, I think, or $22,800,000. So we're required to do a single audit for those federal funds. And the federal fund programs included 8 major programs this year, and those major programs totaled approximately $21.5 million. So we essentially tested approximately 94% of your federal funds this year. That report includes an unmodified opinion on both the government auditing standards and also on the A133, which is the federal requirements for the single audit. Included in the single audit are also some findings, some recommendations for improvement, significant deficiencies and material weaknesses, and we've addressed those. We didn't have any instances. We had instances of non-compliance, but they weren't significant deficiencies with respect to the A133 program. And then the final thing that I wanted to mention was the auditor's communication to the Board of Education, and this is essentially what we call the board packet. It includes a letter from us to you indicating that we didn't have any problems during the audit process. It includes adjusting journal entries that we proposed, and I would just like to mention that we're making improvements in terms of the number of adjusting journal entries that we had. Last year, I think we had 31 AJEs. This year, we're down to 14, so that's a credit to Joe and his staff for making adjustments before the audit process starts. Also included in here is a list of past adjustments, things that we did not adjust. We considered them to be immaterial in dollar amount, and so we didn't actually make an adjustment for those, but that's included in the packet as well. And then finally in here is our management letter, and this includes recommendations for improvement, internal control deficiencies and material weaknesses. And I'd like to kind of point out there too that we're also making progress there. Several of the comments that we've had in prior years have not been repeated. There still are some that are repeated, and we're working on correcting those, but we're making improvements there as well. That's really a quick summary of the reports.
Any questions? We appreciate your time and working with us. Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, next is Superintendent's Report, 7.1.
All right, and I too want to echo your welcome back. We had a great way to kick off our day today. We had all of the different offices that kind of serve under the superintendent's office together for a meeting and a kickoff this morning for kind of a happy new year and back to school. So we had all of our special ed services, our instructional technology department, our student support services, all of the people that are in this building at 1900, which is our teaching and learning department, the superintendent's office, HR, school support. And then we also had all of our operations and maintenance and all of the secretaries and everybody who works over in our West Reynolds building in the business office and works with Joe in your shop. And it was just a great way to bring a lot of people together, because when we do our kickoff for teachers, they're back at the buildings working, getting school ready for all of us. And it was just a great way to bring us all together across several sites where we all kind of work and intertwine each and every day. Everything that we do touches one another, and we want to make sure that we bring them together and kind of show our support. So it was just a 1 hour event. We had some breakfast. Thanks to Hy-Vee for donating that to us. They've been a great supporter of the school since they've moved to our community. So that was a great way to start off the day and welcome them back, as well as all the teachers who are out in their building with professional development. Our teaching and learning department put some great things together, and each school took that information and kind of made it what they needed for their own individual school, and had a lot of great meetings. We were over at Southeast today, and they were rotating every hour to different shifts, and I think a lot of the larger schools did that, and then the elementary schools dug in and did some work around our standards and really looking at them deeper. So very excited to have everybody back today, even with a little snow on the ground, to have some fun with. Just a shout out also to all of the organizations who contributed to our Making the Grade conference in December. We had a lot of different groups, but a special shout out to Mr. Brimhorst, Mr. Rosen, and Mr. Pence, who volunteered at the Making the Grade conference. They have been dedicated to Lamphere and Southeast for some time now, over 3 years, and then we also moved that to Springfield High this year for the first time and started with their freshman class. So it's exciting to see it in all 3 of our high schools. And we also had some organizations that sent volunteers: Illinois State Police, Wells Fargo, Heron Fertilizer, and UIS sent students to assist at the 3 various schools across the district. So that was a great way to kind of end our semester with Making the Grade. The district is also fortunate to have a lot of community partners and volunteers that went out of their way, like we've already had mentioned tonight, to provide a great holiday for our students across the district. We also, especially though, wanted to talk to our Gateway teachers. Ryan Moldenhauer, who started a donation drive in November, along with Todd Zentrafis and Tim Harris. They collected over $1,200 on their own and went out and purchased items for students in our Gateway program who might not have had a special gift during the holiday season. And also Horace Mann, who went out and once again they did their Spirit t-shirt drive, and they gave a t-shirt, a Spirit Wear t-shirt for students to wear to every student at Feichens. For each student, they also got a visit from Santa Claus that day too. So it was a real special event. So those are some specific shout outs that I'd like to make today. Just to kind of give the board a little update in regards, since we're kind of on the money talks right now. What we know right now is that probably in mid-February, we're going to have a budget address from our Governor-elect Ronner that will give us a little bit more focus on where we might need to go with our future spending and things that we might need to know to look for our financial future and be financially stable. Once we got the CAFR back last night, we have the comprehensive report, and we have all of the information in front of us. We do have a little bit of fund balance that we've saved in our education fund, which helps us and makes us feel a lot better. I think that's 2.4, am I right, Joe? 2.1, okay. And so that's kind of where we are right now, and that's better than where we were before, being in deficit spending. But we also know that we have a line of credit right now of $22 million, and we think we can only increase that to $24 million. And so we just have to look and keep our eye on the ball of whether or not we're going to get those state payments this year, and what we need to do to be financially responsible for our district and be able to pay our bills. So, Joe, is there anything that you'd like to add to what I just stated?
No, I think that's about it. We're really just kind of in a holding pattern until we find out exactly where we're going to be with the state, and then we can make some decisions as to what we may need to do as far as
Don't
cash.
hold too long.
Pardon?
Yeah,
Don't hold too long. It may be a long session.
yeah.
So you may be forced, so you
I
need to
know.
have some.
We have a plan. So the plan,
active
Joe
plan.
wasn't going to tip his hat. He's pretty quiet over there. One of the things that we know is if we are going to sell working cash bonds of any amount, we need to do so by the first board meeting in March in order to be able to have that money to be able to pay if we don't get 2 state installments. So if we wait until mid-February and kind of see, but we also at the same time are working behind the scenes to see what we have. We have a couple board meetings to bring back some proposals for you on that, but that would be the timeline. And I wanted to provide that to you. Also in your packet tonight, I provided the full budget timeline so you can just see how everything lays out. If we do get information on February 18th, that would be okay for the timing of what we're talking about? Is there anything else?
No, I think that,
Really, the line of credit and the working cash bonds are about our options right now if we don't get those state payments. If we get the state payments, we'll be okay, because that's where we budgeted. For future budgets, we're just gonna have to wait and see what he has, and we'll have several plans of action for you. I think most organizations are saying, well, we're gonna give you what's gonna happen if we stay the same, what's gonna happen if we get a little bit better, and what's gonna happen if we have to go a little bit deeper. And we'll have those plans of action for you at upcoming meetings within the regular budget process. Okay, are there any questions around that topic? I wanted to give you a little bit of an update. Okay, the other thing we'll vote on in a few minutes is the SRO officer contract with the city. And once we vote for them, we'll turn it over to them, and they'll in turn have an opportunity to vote on that tomorrow night at city council. So we can't say it's a done deal until they vote on it, and give the respect to our aldermen to have their say in that. But that would put back one SRO officer in each of our high schools. And if everything goes as planned, they would be able to get into the buildings on January 12th or somewhere around there, to get back into the modified. And I will tell you that the city met us a little bit on that, and we really appreciate them helping with some of the costs of the pension and that. And it was a nice way for them to meet us part way and help us with the situation where we know we want to continue to have a safe environment within our schools.
Any questions of the superintendent? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to consent action items.
Okay. Is it up to you? There you go. Who's it? Me. I recommend approval of the consent action 8.2 through 8.5 as described in the corresponding resolution.
Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll take a vote.
Thunderbird. Aye. Johnson.
Aye.
Lopez.
Aye.
McFarland.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Zimmers.
Aye.
Flamini.
Aye.
That is 7 aye votes.
Okay, now on to roll call action items, 9.1. Mrs. Sherman?
President Zimmers and members of the board, the superintendent recommends adoption of the personnel recommendations as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote.
Johnson.
Aye.
Lopez.
Present.
McFarland.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Zimmers.
Aye.
Flamini.
Aye.
Thunderbird.
Aye.
That is 6 aye votes and 1 present.
Okay, 9.2, Superintendent Gill.
Okay, this is the approval of the agreement with the city of Springfield for the SRO officers that I just discussed. So are there any questions related to that?
Second. Okay. Any questions?
I didn't hear who the second was, Mr.
Second.
Zimmers.
Mr.
Sorry.
Hearing none, we'll take a vote.
Lopez.
Aye.
McFarland.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Zimmers.
Aye.
Flamini.
Aye.
Thunderbird.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
That is 7 aye votes.
Okay, 9.3.
Mr. Basco?
President Zimmer, members of the board, the superintendent recommends adoption of the following resolution. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education accepts the comprehensive annual financial report for fiscal year 2014 as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I do have, Mrs. Gill, thank you for making some progress on some of the findings that are repeat findings. I've raised this issue, I think, each year I've been on the board. And I do credit you, Mr. Basco, with making some good progress. I would like to understand, is the management corrective action plan in this document, or do you have a separate management corrective action plan to address each finding?
Well, the document that I provided to you are sort of our internal explanation to you, sort of in our language of what we're going to do those findings. But Joe, you'll be doing the actual management correction plan and then turning that in, and it's a more official document that you'll get.
Right, I mean, and in the single audit is where the formal kind of findings are, and then the management letter to you is kind of a summary of those. Those points are hidden there. They're in a little bit different language, but basically, they just replicate each other.
Okay,
And so we'll be working on those, individually.
okay. And I do appreciate the completion dates listed, and I've talked to you about this beforehand.
Sure.
I do think it's a good idea if we have a checkup on these items prior to the audit, so that
Right.
some of these findings go back before my time on the board, '07, I think, a couple of them. So it's good that we've had progress, it's good that the findings have narrowed some, but we still have several that are repeat year after year after year. So
Understood.
I would like some sort of a checkup before the next audit, so we can see if we're making progress before we have findings again.
Be happy to do so. And I think that this is almost a mid-year document, because I created this for you when I came in May, just so that I could understand it a little bit better. And then now we're checking in again, so I would think that that would be a similar good time to check up, is let you know where we are at the end of this next semester. Because we don't, some of this work is actually going to be done over the summer to correct some of these findings. So we'll move from there. Is that, Mr. Basco, is that a good
Yes,
timeline for
yes,
you?
I think so.
Right. That would be a good mid-year point, again, to give you another update, I think.
Any other questions? Hearing none, we'll take a vote.
McFarland.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Zimmers.
Aye.
Flamini.
Aye.
Thunderbird.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Lopez.
Aye.
That is 7 aye votes.
Okay, 9.4, student discipline.
President Zimmers and members of the board, it is my recommendation that one 12th grade student be hereby expelled from further attendance at Lanphier High School through the end of the 2015-16 school year without a program.
Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll take a vote.
Okay. Moore.
Aye.
Zimmers.
Aye.
Flamini.
Aye.
Thunderbird.
Aye.
Johnson.
Present.
Lopez.
Aye.
McFarland. That is 6 aye votes and 1 present.
And I'm voting present because I started a discussion before I got here, so I'm not aware of what the actual details are.
Okay, anything else? Okay, that will adjourn our meeting. Our next regular meeting is Tuesday, January the 20th.
I'm going to say something about the weather, too, before you.
Okay.
January 20th is the next meeting. I'll follow through on that. But just with the weather, people are starting to call and ask. Just remember that we kind of have a protocol that we follow. First of all, if we were to cancel school ever, which I'm not saying we are, it would be done through the media. We would send an email to all the media letting them know. It'll be on our main page of the website. Calling here is not going to get you the answer you want to get quick. And we're also going to be instituting our new text messaging programs. We'll have it on Facebook. We'll also put it out on Twitter. We'll do all of the main communication sources if we were to need to do so. Once again, we take into account several factors and multiple issues before we would cancel school. We want to have our kids in school. We've just been out for 2 full weeks, and we don't know what it's going to do on Wednesday today. So we're just going to wait and see. We have a little dusting of snow, not enough to cancel school. We were all able to get here tonight. Just remember, there are people who live north of us and survive that. So we're working hard, but we do want to make sure that the safety of our students is at the first and foremost of our minds, and that darn wind chill stuff is stuff we do have to take into consideration and take a look at. But there is a nice document on our main webpage right to the right of the side if you want to look at our weather protocol for how we make decisions, if we want to look at some suggestions and tips that we have for families about making sure you have a safe plan for your student if they go out to the bus stop and a bus doesn't come, who do they go to, where do they go, do they have a buddy that they stay with? All of those things can really help us out as administrators and teachers if the families have a plan of action at home too. We hope that if you've gone on and signed up for our text messaging and you've kind of logged in and done that, or you sent your paper into the school or filled out the form online, that you have access to those text messages, and that'll be another new thing, but we'll still continue with our phone calls as well, our automated phone calls that will let you know. But once again, just get online and you'll see all the information you need too. And we're working with the bus company so that if we have a significantly late bus, one that is not going to make it to the stop, either is broken down or been involved in some sort of a situation where they're not going to get to your child's bus stop, that we're able to notify the school, and the school will directly be sending out a text message and a robocall or automated call to the parents of the students that ride that bus, if the information in the system is correct. So make sure that if you've had any phone number change over the holidays, you got a brand new spanking iPhone and you switched your phone number, anything, make sure you let the schools know, because the communication is only good as the information that we have to call you and text you in those means for the late buses. So that will really help us out for that. But it is a new added feature this year that we hope is going to work out. And we're excited about that, but we're not looking to use it anytime soon, Mrs. Funderburg, I swear.
Thunderbird kids
I
have
know.
school Wednesday.
I know, right? You're going, dropping them off, huh?
Regardless.
I'm sorry.
I would suggest
Everyone be,
that, I would suggest it would be good planning if they went over this first thing in the morning at the school. So
With the kids, yes.
A lot of times if you tell the kids, they can relate it to their parent. They'll say, that's not what they told me at school, okay?
Right.
And so I
Mrs.
think
Booster,
that
didn't
that's a
you,
good
didn't you
thing.
send out an email to principals today? I know, we had the same conversation, that we want them to have the conversations at the school sites about how to be safe, how to make sure you know where to go if you go out and the bus doesn't come, who to call, what to do. And we made that suggestion, so hopefully everybody will follow through with it.
Which area you can throw snowballs from, and
Yeah, all that good stuff, yeah.
okay, everybody be
All
safe on
right.
the way home.
Be
Thanks for
safe,
coming.
thank you.
I got my first paddling as a student.